Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Ninth Legion. Let's play some more Factorio. So things might look a little bit different from the last time you saw this. Unfortunately, I lost a couple of recordings. They recorded fine, they just had no sound on them again. A little bit of an error on my side of things. So you didn't miss too much. I basically just continued expanding our oil production facilities, getting plenty of storage tanks in, and I finally managed to get sulfuric acid set up. But basically, it was a lot of me laying pipe around, and making a lot of laying pipe puns, so you really didn't miss that much. The only interesting thing I've really done is extend the wall down a bit here. Got a nice gate here so I can actually try and drive through there without crashing into stuff, but we all know I'm going to hit stuff. And yeah, I decided to go for some local iron plate production, which is probably a little bit too much there, to keep up with what was required for sulfuric acid, which required sulfur, iron plate, and water. Now, this means we can start thinking about making batteries. They have to be made in chemical factories again, and we also need copper plate, and I'm really debating at the moment where we want to try and do this. We've got the area down here, kind of like the chemical plant processing area, but everything still needs to get back up to the main bus. Particularly because we're making batteries and advanced circuits so we can get blue science packs. And we have to do that up there. So I'm torn. I mean, the plan was to start funneling the plastic and the batteries basically onto the bus and then start working from there. I'm just not convinced it's going to be the best plan. I have concerns about my layout. But I think honestly we're going to have to do it. There's no... I don't want to do blue science down here and then bust blue science all the way up. That would be very resource intensive to have all the blue science on that long of a line. I could pump the sulfuric acid up to the main bus and do that up there if I wanted to run more pipe across the place. That could work. That might be the better option actually. So we'll make the advanced circuits off the main bus and then we can do the batteries nearby without having to set up separate copper production. But I've already got iron plate production here and there's copper here I can access. I could do the batteries here and then just bust them up. Then, no. Okay, right. No. That's not how a main bus works. I'm being silly. What we need to do is start running all of this up that way. Now, unfortunately, that is going to cause a small problem, largely because I've already got these chests filled, so they're kind of essentially my buffer right now. I need to get what's in these chests back onto the main bus. Like so. So those guys are going to start unloading as quickly as they can. And a lot of our petroleum is being turned into sulfuric acid right now. But these tanks are nearly full. So that will hold us for a decent long time. Okay. So this has got to run kind of basically alongside the coal line that comes in here. So let's take it up here, turn it around that way, and we will start running some underground belt. I am tempted to try and run as much of this underground as I could, but that seems like a lot of resources. And I know I'm not normally one to worry about wasting resources. As several people have been commenting, it's not the most efficient way to use red belt in this manner, but I just like using red belt. Don't want to not use red belt. I'm imagining my setup does cause a lot of people to be screaming. Sometimes. Okay, let's see. I want to bring... Let's turn you up this way. Run you under here. Bring it across here. It's such a long, convoluted way to get these materials over there, but I don't know. I'm struggling to think of a better way of doing it, unfortunately. So that's all of our plaster coming in. Now red circuits are going to need green circuitry, so we're going to have to set it up beyond this part here where our green circuit comes in. So if I run it that way, I might have to do some tree cutting to have enough space to do all of it. Might have enough belt together. I'm actually going to start using some underground belt now. We're kind of bunny hop our way there. Just it doesn't go very far, and it uses up a lot of resources, but I'm already having trouble driving the car around, as everyone has seen every time I get in the damn thing, so I don't want to put too much stuff on the surface, but this is actually worse. Yeah, this is a terrible idea. Ignore everything I just said. That's not going to help matters at all. I can drive over my normal belt, can't I? That's just making more stuff I am going to hit, which was not what I intended at all. Okay. Now, luckily we can disassemble a large chunk of this wall, get rid of some turrets, because we have cleared out the area to our west quite a lot. Let's get rid of these trees so I can actually move this around a bit. I want to bring you up there. Okay, we now have plastic on the main bus. I'm not entirely sure if that's the best plan, but it's the plan we're going to have for now. You know, it's kind of what this is where we are, guys. Plastic is on the main bus. I've never put plastic on the main bus before. Where's my belt? Up here. Right, let's grab some more belt so we can finish that off. Now, the other thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get our sulfuric acid all the way up here. So let's grab all the pipe we've got. We'll make a bunch of underground pipe as well. And let's see about bringing that over. I've done a few other things off camera. There's a few more lights around. Part of the wall area was running out of brick, so we disassembled a bit of that. Power we seem to be doing fine, and I've got a lot of power here. You can see most of the boilers aren't even actually being used at the moment. So that's fine. We can keep expanding without issue. So I want to get sulfuric acid out of these tanks. They seem to be going okay. Right, let's use some underground pipe from here. I guess I'm going to want to run it pretty much alongside that as much as I can. And I really do want to use as much underground pipe as I can, because overground pipe is not like conveyor belts. I will drive into it, left to my own devices. Oop, that was the wrong thing. That was a wall. That'd be stupid. Okay, so we're going to keep running that along there. I'm going to actually double up the belt here, so we're using both sides of it. So we'll put one of these guys in, just there. Feed that back in. So we're making full use of all of our red belt there. Going to need to keep making these guys. We've run out of iron plate is the problem there. And we're just going to keep trying to run this as far as we can. At least once it's done, it'll all be there for us. I'm probably not going to need that little patch there, am I? So we can build over the top of that without too much concern. Hang on. I've got to turn you that way. Should have thought about that ahead of time. I didn't think of my turns. So you are actually going to go like that. Oops. That was me trying to dig out some iron ore by myself. Rather unnecessarily. This isn't going too badly. There's going to be a lot of more stuff here for me to run into with the car though, so I should probably make some kind of fail compilation of me driving the car into stuff. Oop, that was too far away. Okay, I am out of iron. Let's grab some more iron off the main bus. Just hoover everything up off the line there. How am I doing? I've actually got plenty of pipe. That's not a problem for once. Just keep making that. Once you've actually got the raw materials for it, though, making underground pipe is actually really quick, so I don't mind making that kind of in my pocket. Haven't needed it enough yet that I want to put onto, actually, you know, have it made automatically for me. Okay, let's turn on the corner here. Actually, that might be a bit too close. I don't really know where I'm going to put all this yet. If I want to build around here, I'm going to have to do a lot of construction and tree felling and the like. But once those are done, and then I'm going to have to loop this back over here. It's going to get messy, guys. Let's be honest. It's going to get messy. But okay, sulfuric acid and plastic are now up here. So we have everything here to make batteries and advanced circuits. We're just going to need some local assembly for copper wire, which shouldn't be a problem. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording and do some disassembly work, clear out this area, and we will have some space for our new production area. See you in a moment. Okay, as you can see, we are back, and I kind of destroyed most of the world's forests again. I'm really sorry. I feel kind of guilty about the whole burning and razing and destroying a forest, but you know, this is the march of progress. This is what's happening. So, first off, we want to get our advanced circuit production going, because that is definitely something we do really want on the main bus. I could probably bring the plastic back. We might not even need... I'm not even sure what else needs plastic, to be honest. I've never got this far in the game. What do you expect of me? So, we're going to need some factories, electronic circuits, plastic bars, and copper cable. So, copper cable... well, that shouldn't be too hard to sort out. We'll have a setup similar to this, I think. Yeah, I'm going to assume... I don't know. Not sure what the ratios are going to be. But we're going to need to bring some green circuitry down and then produce... So I've got to bring in green circuits and copper and... I've actually got to bring in a bunch of stuff, haven't I? Okay. Well, let's play around with it and we'll see what happens. So, assuming we have a similar kind of setup, let's go for 3 factories making copper wire. If I can find copper wire, there we go. And that's not enough space behind me because I thought I'm trying to save space. That was why I put myself so close to that water. I was trying to be clever. And then of course there wasn't enough space to actually run a line of copper down, was there? That was a bit silly of me. Alright. Okay, so copper can come through here. Back that up a little bit. So it's going to want to come from there and run to there, please. So let's put a splitter in here. Feed that off. How have we got that set up? So single blue inserter should be enough. And then let's see if we can do it with a similar setup. So I want you to make advanced circuits. So I need to get plastic and electronic circuits coming into you. You've already got copper wire coming in from one side. What I would really like to do is have a single belt coming in that feeds in, and then I can feed out on the other side with long-handled inserters. So I want to get copper wire and plastic on the same belt. Interesting. How are we going to do that, guys? How are we going to do that? Okay, so I want a single line coming in here that's got plastic and green circuits on it. which means I need to take off from you. But only have it come in on one side. There is a way of doing this, I swear. How have I seen this done? I've seen people do this, guys. It is a physically possible thing. And have I got... I do have a tiny bit of yellow belt, so I can fix that back up. Okay. Oh, hang on. I've just remembered how you do it. Ha-ha! Ha-ha, ha-ha! Okay, sorry. I'm getting a bit overexcited with myself here. So, I need to bring... you in like that. That could have been one closer, couldn't it? Oh, well, okay, yeah, fine. Didn't quite get it done perfectly, but it's done. Then we can output onto here and snake this up that way. Okay. Let's give this some power and we'll see what happens. This should produce, hopefully, unless I've done something wrong, which I probably have. This should... Are you really not going to allow me to connect? It's 1 pixel away from actually connecting those 2 lines together. Yeah, I need a little bit more power there. Let's give you a light. Oh man, you take a long time to make these, don't you? Okay, we're probably going to want another... Ooh, there we go. Okay, they actually are being made. Excellent. Being made very, very slowly. Yeah, that's not a very quick assembly line at all, but we'll work with it. We're just going to need to make it bigger. That's fine. I can definitely make this all bigger. We will just duplicate the whole arrangement. I think the ratios are actually working out pretty well, though. We're definitely over the top on our copper requirements, though. Could try that with just 1 each. Just give each one a dedicated assembly. Let's test that quickly. See how it works. I could try and work it out, you know, ahead of time through some kind of maths, but I don't do maths. You know, I'm just going to put it down there now. I don't do maths. I don't like maths, and maths doesn't really like me. So, if I tell you to make copper wire, and I tell you to make red circuitry, and then I give you some power. Got to give you all the power. Okay, there we go. So that's working fine. Yeah, one of these will be more than enough. One of those could possibly actually feed 2, I wonder, because it takes such a long time. If I offset you slightly, like so. Sorry guys, I'm experimenting. Can you feed into 2 factories and save me a little bit of space and power? Right, let's try putting some more power down. Probably... There we go, get rid of that one. Right, you do that. You do that. Whoops. Getting carried away, literally. Is that going to produce enough for both of you to be working? Oh yeah, definitely. That's more than enough. Okay, good. Okay, red circuitry is being done. I can probably sort out this little bit off camera, but I'm kind of satisfied with this arrangement so far. I will put a load balancer in here, so that we can utilise both sides of the belt at some point when we actually have enough coming through. But okay, I'm going to call this episode here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you are enjoying this. If you are, leave a like, leave a comment, feel free to subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you later for the next one. Bye!